Alright guys, welcome back to the 37th episode of the Anxiety and Depression Vlogs, and today we're all going to talk about an evening routine and why it's just as important as the morning routine. My morning routine is somewhat similar to my night routine with a couple different variations, and I'm going to get to that in a sec. But first off, I want to say that having an evening routine and why it's just as important as the morning routine is because what you go to bed thinking about is what you're going to wake up to the next day, and it's going to be on your mind the next day. So you want to make sure that you have a clear thought process and a clear mind going into when you go to sleep for those 8 hours, so that you can get the best rest possible and ultimately the best recovery possible from physically and mentally. So when I go to bed, I usually go to bed around 9:30, and it sounds really early, but if I'm waking up at 4, I need 7 to 8 hours of sleep. It's more beneficial for me to go to bed early and wake up with a clear mind and a strategy for what I want to happen for the next day. So in this evening routine, I basically plan it out like this. If I go to bed at 9 or 9:30, I usually start my evening routine at 8. What that consists of is I drink some form of herbal tea. The reason I drink tea at night is because it helps calm down the body, and it helps calm down the stress that you've had throughout the whole day, the buildup of stress. So when you have some tea, it'll just prepare your body to let your body know that, hey, it's almost time to shut down for the day. I'll leave a link in the description below of some great teas that help relax me and help put me to sleep. Whenever I do drink the tea at night, it helps me fall asleep for an entire 8 hours without waking up in the middle of the night, and it's such a stress reliever for me. And it's something so simple, just hot water and a tea bag. Okay, so after the tea, I usually like to make sure that my room is clean and spotless, so that when I go to bed and I wake up in the morning, that's just one less thing I have to worry about, and it's one less thing that my mind has to worry about when I wake up, and I'm already focused on all the other stuff that I have to do that day. So having a clean room, it sounds funny, but it's just as important as, like I said, in the morning routine, when you make your bed the first thing when you wake up. It's just as important. So make sure that your room is clean, your things are organized. Take 30 minutes to just clean your room. It doesn't have to be spotless, but just make sure that it's organized, it's clean, and it's free of clutter, so that you can unclutter your mind when you wake up the next day and you can be more productive ultimately. But drinking that tea, making sure your things are organized and clean, and keeping your brain free from the clutter, and it's having it be one less thing to worry about, is super important. I can't stress that enough. Now, the next thing that I do when going to bed is I plan out the next day. Now, with that being said, I don't expect the day to go exactly how I planned the night before, but this is just as a guideline for me to look at, okay, here's the things that I want to accomplish the next day, here's the things that I have to get done, here's my plan to go about it to accomplish those things. And more than likely, when you plan out your day, yeah, it might not go as planned, but you'll have some sense of direction, and that's what you want, some sense of direction to lead you into a more successful and productive day. And that's ultimately what we're looking for, right? Is a more productive and fulfilled day. So when you plan out your day the night before, there's this planning sheet that I use. I honestly go by increments of 30 minutes when I look at a whole 24 hour daily planner, and I break it up into 30-minute increments of exactly what I need to do during those times, including I block out my work schedule, I block out before work, I block out after work, and I make the entire day filled with things that I want to accomplish. I don't leave any spaces for downtime, because when you have downtime, that leaves time for your mind to wander, it leaves time for you to get into things that you shouldn't be getting into, and it just helps you become the most productive self that you can possibly be. So when I plan out my day for the next day, I usually plan it out in 30-minute increments, like I said, and having that sense of, okay, what are the things that you want to accomplish that day are really going to help you in going into the day. So by the time you're asleep, you have all night to marinate on what you want to accomplish, and it gives you at least that 8 hours to think about anything else that you might have forgotten that you needed to do. And it also gives you 8 hours to think about how you're going to accomplish those things. So by the time you wake up, you're not just waking up with no sense of direction of okay, here we go, let's just see what the day has in store. You're actually waking up and you have that set plan of, okay, I already know what I have to do today, and it gets you that much more motivated to wake up early, which makes it easier to get up at 4 a.m. because you have purpose, you have a sense of fulfillment and purpose for what you want to accomplish that day, and it gets you excited about the day. And pretty soon you're going to realize you don't even need an alarm clock to wake up at 4 because you're already so psyched about how you want the day to go, because you vision it and you think about it, you slept on it all night. And so when you wake up, you have that vision in your head and you can just take it with you throughout the rest of the day. Before I go to bed, I don't do this all the time, but I've been trying to because I've been seeing the results. Prayer to me is what I value the most. And that's just me personally. Whatever you value the most, make sure that you spend time doing that before you go to bed. So for me, prayer is one thing that I value the most in life, and my spirituality. And so I usually try and write in a prayer journal before I go to bed, 5 minutes, it doesn't have to be too long. And I just journal my thoughts of what I want to pray about, what I am anxious about, what I'm worried about, what I'm happy and sad about, anything. I really journal about anything, and it's just a conversation between me and God that I can get off my chest, and I can pour out everything in my heart so that I'm not sleeping on it and holding all those emotions and all those feelings in. I can get them out on paper so that by the time I go to sleep, I have nothing left to worry about, and it's all out there. So that is one way that has really helped me, that I am actually currently working on trying to get more consistent at doing, because I don't do it every day, but when I do, I notice a huge difference. And I notice a huge difference in my sleep cycle. I notice a huge difference in how I am waking up, and the feelings I have when I wake up. I'm not worried about anything. I'm psyched about the day because I've already gotten everything off my chest the night before, so I'm good. I'm starting off with a clean slate, and that's exactly what you want, a clean slate, a clean mind, and it's refreshing, and it gives you energy throughout the day to be able to handle more of whatever the day is going to throw at you. Also, I forgot to mention, if you guys are having trouble with sleep, the Nature's Bounty melatonin is the #1 thing that helps me get to sleep when I am having trouble sleeping. So I recommend melatonin, the 5 to 10 milligrams. Start out with 5 if you've never done it before. If it's not working, go up to 10. So preparing the night before is all about whether or not you want to have a good day the following day. And preparing at night that's exactly what I'm saying. Preparing at night is just as important as preparing during the morning. So that's really it for the prayer journal. So that's about 5 minutes, and then the last thing I do is I meditate for 10 minutes just like I did in the morning. And meditating twice a day versus once a day, it doesn't sound that drastic of a difference, but it is a life changer. When you meditate twice a day and you have 20 minutes under your belt throughout the whole day of meditating, you're doubling up. You're experiencing twice the amount of spiritual and mental awareness that you would have if you only meditated 10 minutes a day instead of 20 minutes. So I break it up in between morning and night, and that's when I do my meditation. And that's the big difference that made me get that restful sleep, get that full 8 hours in, and I am now able to wake up early without an alarm. I'm able to wake up energized, feeling ecstatic about the day, and looking forward to what the day holds. And it just makes me excited to go to bed at night because I know I can wake up and I know I'm going to have a productive ass day. And let me know in the comments what you guys think, and I will see you next week.